Huh? Dig. Huh? Huh? Dirt.
Hey now, and welcome down to KC Toy Reviews. We are here today with Mr. Rich by SL Custom, aka Batman's Bruce Wayne from the most recent Justice League. Now, this figure is actually pretty decent, and I'm excited to show off why. So, let's clutch each other's hands, fine comb some of those details, and dive right the hell goddamn in. Alright, so as we dive right into this, let's first specify the scene in Justice League where this comes from. And in my opinion, it's just slightly interesting because this is a very quick scene of him searching for Aquaman. He was on a horse, he was going through these kind of snowy, cavernous mountain areas in search of Aquaman, and here's the outfit that he had. And I'll say so far, I'm pleasantly surprised. I actually think this thing is pretty decent. The coat on hand, the sweater, the little scarf around the neck, the goggles, everything is very nicely tailored. And we'll go into a little bit more detail as we go around the figure. But the first thing I would want to hone in is the head sculpt. So one of the first things I usually ask myself is, well, is it recognizable? Do I know that this is Ben Affleck? And I would say that immediately with this head sculpt, it is very recognizable. And I'll say overall, the paint application, the skin tone, the little dots and imperfections around the face, lines above the eyes, multicolored beard, and in my opinion, nicely sculpted hair work very, very well. I do see Ben Affleck. I mean, is this a Tamora Morrison Boba Fett head sculpt? No, not necessarily. But it's pretty damn good for a third-party figure that runs between $130 and $140. So I think with all that said, I was very pleasantly surprised with the head sculpt. I think it kind of matches up with the prototype, if not slightly better in my opinion. And before we pull out, just kind of take a look at the tailoring around the sweater, around the collar, and the way the coat fits around it. I actually think proportion-wise, the way it sits, the way you can kind of move it around is very, very nice. So as I mentioned, tailoring-wise, I mean, it's pretty decent. Pants fit nicely around him. The coat fits nice. The hood, you can kind of bring it up and down. It forms nice. There's no wire in it, but it does sit nicely on his head. And if you pull it down, it kind of sits nicely there. So there doesn't seem to be too many problems. Underneath this kind of nicely tailored sweater here, there is some type of fat suit going on. Oh, that's actually a pleasant surprise, too, how nicely tailored that thing is. I saw the collar up there, but that's actually a really nice shirt underneath, too. I'd probably wear that in real life. But anyways, he does have a little bit of a fat suit going on here, so he has a little belly, but it does look well as far as proportions and the way the clothes fit him. And just kind of a quick breeze through on the pants and the foot. Nothing special about the pants, as I said, the rest of the body. The tailoring is very nice. It hugs and fits the legs pretty well. The boots are pretty much just a straight 3D printed boot. Nothing special about these guys. Paint application is decent on here. And dare I say, has a real-ish leather look almost to it. So they did a good job overall with printing them and painting them. And articulation-wise, I mean, you can kind of see what you would expect on a foot like this. And there we have it, Mr. Rich by SL Custom, aka Bruce Wayne from the Justice League. Yes, there was the piece of crap Josh Whedon version, but there was also the amazing Zack Snyder version. And if we do remember in that movie, Batman was asked by Flash, what are your powers? And he said, I'm rich. And as we start to wind this down, well, I'd say I am very pleasantly surprised with this piece. Especially as I take the coat off of him, I actually think it looks almost nicer without the coat. We have the scarf that lays over him, the nice sweater, the pants. It's almost like a classic Christmas Bruce Wayne that lies in front of us with a pretty decent Ben Affleck head sculpt. And of course, anybody that's questioning, well, how's the articulation? Because it's Bruce Wayne, I'm not sure how crazy you're going to pose him. However, it does have a very stereotypical 1/6 body underneath. And I mean that in a good way. It has double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. You can bend and put this thing however the hell you want it. And because of his cloth clothes, there is no fear of damage in this thing. So longevity is a major thumbs up. And lastly, I'd say what you see is what you get. We had the goggles and we had the coat, and other than that, everything else is in shot. He did not come with a stand. SL Customs, please, going forward, I beg you, include stands with your figures. There is no 1/6 scale collector that doesn't have stands with their figures, so the fact that we have to go out of our way now to get a stand is completely inconvenient. You have very nice products. Pair it with a stand so we don't need to have something that kind of mismatches and looks funky with this thing. And as far as a score, well, what comes to mind is an 8.2 out of 10. I think SL Customs, especially for the price point, has done a fantastic job with this piece. I think Mr. Rich is going to have a nice place on my shelf for the years to come. On top of that, I think Ben Affleck portrayed a fantastic Batman. Very sad we're not going to see him in this role anymore. So with all that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here today at KC Toys. I just uploaded a ton of videos. I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday. And as always, please subscribe below. It helps the channel out immensely. I appreciate everybody's feedback, everybody's comments. And we'll catch you guys next time. Bruce Wayne out. Blah!
Huh? Huh? Durr. Huh?